I, 28, think my girlfriend, 26, has been using my gym socks to wipe after going to the bathroom. Throw away because reasons. TL. Doctor, found my gym socks in the garbage covered in poop. Asked girlfriend about it. She started yelling at me and crying and left. I don't even know where to start with this. I'm dumbfounded. She just stormed out the house and I'm sitting on the bed asking myself a lot of questions. I live a pretty normal life and I thought so did my girlfriend. We've been together for a few months and after things got serious, we moved in together. We started sharing a lot of the household responsibilities, but the one thing she was adamant on doing was the laundry. She would come home and find me in the bedroom getting the laundry together and would quickly ask me to go do something else. I'd come back to finish the laundry and she would have already started it. I always thought it was sweet and never her job to do it alone, but hey, if it makes her happy to do it all the time, I wouldn't stop her. This is where it takes a turn for the weird. I keep all my socks and underwear in the bottom drawer of my dresser. I also go to the gym frequently, so I always keep a good supply of clean gym socks ready to go. I never kept count, but I know by just a visual glance I several pairs. This morning when I went to grab a fresh pair to pack for the gym, I noticed there were several dress socks, but no gym socks. Again, not weird, they must have been in the laundry. I went to check the laundry basket and it was empty, so I checked the washing machine and dryer. Both were empty. I couldn't figure out where all of my gym socks had gone. So, I did the very natural thing of asking my girlfriend what had happened to them. After all, she is the one who does the laundry all the time. She went silent, turned red and ran out of the room. When I went after her to see if she was okay, she wouldn't talk to me. I told her I wasn't mad, I was just looking for my socks. She kinda mumbled "I don't know." I still wasn't mad, of course, but I was super confused. Socks just don't disappear. So I asked her again, even laughed about it, and she just looked at me and got mad and said "I'll buy you new ones." The first thought that went through my head was she had somehow managed to destroy my socks while washing them. I thought the sight of that was actually pretty funny, so I joked with her about ruining my socks. Wrong thing to say. She started immediately crying. Like, full on sobbing. At this point I don't care about the socks anymore. I want to know what's wrong with my girlfriend. I sat down next to her on the bed and put my arm around her and asked her if she was okay. She just kept saying she was sorry and that she would buy me new socks. I tried assuring her again it was okay. Even went so far as to say I would buy new socks and she didn't have to. I sat with her for a few minutes trying to calm her down and eventually had to get ready for work. I told her loved her and got my things together to leave for the day. On my way out I grabbed the garbage to take outside. When I got outside I lifted the lid off the garbage can and I noticed a small plastic bag sitting on top of the garbage already in there. I could see through the bag, kind of the semi-see-through ones. There were socks in the bag. Since I was sure she had somehow managed to ruin the socks washing them, I wanted to see for myself. I opened the bag and immediately regretted my choice. There, inside the bag, were several pairs of my gym socks covered in what looked like poop. As soon as the smell hit me, I knew it was poop. We don't own any pets. We don't have any kids. Whose poop was on my socks? Work could wait. I couldn't go the rest of the day wondering why my gym socks were covered in poop and inside a plastic bag in the garbage can. I grabbed the bag and walked back inside. As soon as my girlfriend saw the bag she flipped out and started yelling at me. She said I shouldn't be going through the garbage and that I was disgusting for bringing it back into the house. I asked her to calm down and that I just wanted an answer as to why there was poop on my socks. I wasn't blaming her of anything, but she started accusing me of blaming her. That's when it clicked. I don't know what it was that led me to ask this, but everything leading up to this moment had just been so crazy. I asked her, "Is this your poop?" She started sobbing again and ran out of the house. I didn't go after her this time. So, now I'm sitting on my bed with a bag of poopy socks on the floor and a lot of questions in my head. The only conclusion is that she used them after going to the bathroom, which that alone has its own set of questions above everything else. I sent her text asking her to come back. She hasn't responded yet. I don't even know what I'm going to say when if she gets back. Update. I had to leave for work and I'm now at work. Yes, I threw away the bag of poopy socks. She texted me back and she's clearly embarrassed but felt she owed me an explanation. She said she didn't want to talk about it in person and that we could discuss it over texting and to not bring it up in person. I'm condensing the conversation and filling in some gaps as best as I can. Her responses are super short, but I'm getting the idea. I flat out asked her if it was a fetish. It is not a fetish. She confessed to using the socks after going to the bathroom. I found the reason she always does the laundry is because she was hiding the fact that she uses socks to wipe with, primarily her own. I had no reason to question the amount of socks she ever has, because who pays attention to that kind of thing? She thought I would notice and think it was weird since she doesn't own many socks. She admitted she has done this for a long time. Her reasoning, as best as I can understand, is that because she is a germaphobe, her word, and she is afraid toilet paper will tear and is afraid of getting her hands messy in any way. She uses socks because it covers her entire hand. After she's done with them, she throws them away. She used mine because she didn't have other socks. So, my girlfriend has a fear of getting poop on her hands, so she wipes with socks and has done so for a long time. It could be worse, I guess. I hope we can laugh about this later. I'm trying to find the humor in it now, but I'm still weirded out. Wife told me she wanted to experiment. I obliged. Then she attempted to eat my feces. Throwaway account because my wife follows my regular account here. My 28 meters wife 26F and I have admittedly had very vanilla sex throughout our 3-year marriage. We had our first kid a year ago and it seriously slowed down our sex life. However, a little under a month ago she approached me about trying new things. She has been hanging out with a group of moms in our neighborhood and one of them told her that she and her husband tried pegging and it completely transformed their marriage. My wife told me that she wanted to try pegging as well to spice things up. At first I thought it was a joke, but soon realized she actually wanted to peg me. I had never done a splay before and had always lived by the philosophy that the anus is solely an exit, but my wife made it clear that this was important to her, so after a few days I obliged. That next weekend, she pegged me and everything was surprisingly enjoyable. Additionally, the week following the pegging was one of the best weeks we've had together since the birth of our child. We were back to our old sex life, doing things like having sex before work and even waking each other up with head. However, that next weekend she told me she wanted to peg me again. I was slightly confused as to why this last week of sex wasn't cutting it for her, but I agreed. This is when things took an extreme turn. During this second pegging, while my wife was inside of me, she grabbed my hair, craned my neck to the right, and pressed our foreheads together. I had never seen her take control like this and thought it was very hot until she looked me in the eye and whispered, "I want your shit." I pulled my face away and asked her to repeat, and she said, "I want you to shit on me." I pushed her off of me and asked her if she was joking, and she started crying. I felt like a fucking dick because she thought I was kink shaming her. In a way, I was, because I thought the request was far too extreme. I ended up leaving for the night and stayed with one of my close friends, but didn't tell him what happened. After that incident, my wife and I hardly talked all week, unless it related to our son. At the end of the week, I asked my wife to talk about what happened. She told me again that she wanted me to shit on her and that it meant a lot to her. I thought it was sickening, but she claimed this was her deepest, darkest kink. I couldn't understand how and why my shit excited her, but she insisted that she has always wanted this. We fought about this for about a week, and after watching some scat porn and reading articles by people who also shared this kink, I tried to put myself in my wife's shoes. I told her that I will shit on her if that is what will turn her on. She was so happy, and even though I was still completely nauseated by this desire, I wanted to satisfy her. That brings us to tonight. We were having sex for the first time this week when I, regrettably, confessed to her that I had to take a shit. She perked up with a smile, sensed my discomfort, and began stroking my hair. and whispering encouraging things to me. I still really didn't want to go through with it, but since I had promised her I pulled out, and we ran to the bathroom. She got into the bathtub, and I hung my ass over the side of the tub. I started pushing, but unsurprisingly found it very difficult to successfully shit on my wife. I turned my head around to see my wife staring up and smiling at me waiting for me to finish. With enough time, I was finally able to get a turd to start coming out. I could hear my wife breathing heavier beneath me as my asshole started opening. However, before the turd was able to drop on her chest, I felt a sensation around my asshole. I turned around and saw my wife, the love of my life, the mother of my son, attempting to catch my turd in her mouth as it fell out of my asshole. I was horrified that she would try to do this and tried to pull the shit back into my body so she couldn't receive it in her mouth. Seeing what looked like an attempt by her to eat my shit brought me close to throwing up. As I clenched my butt cheeks together to try to stop the shit from reaching my wife, the clenching cut off a very small piece of my shit, and I heard it land somewhere beneath me. I was too scared and disgusted to look at my wife to see what she had done with it, so I ran to the other bathroom to clean myself. As I was sitting in the other bathroom thinking about how I will ever be able to look my wife in the eye again, I heard footsteps approaching. My wife lightly knocked on the door. I didn't respond and was on the verge of throwing up the more I thought about what just happened. She walked away, and then I got a text from her thanking me for fulfilling her wish and asking me to come to bed. I've been sitting in the living room typing this for the last half hour scared to face my wife. We have plans to take our son to the zoo with another family tomorrow, but I don't think I can look at her after what she did to me. I feel deceived and violated by the woman I love and trust. During our initial conversations about this, there was never a question that my shit would go anywhere other than her chest. She knew how uncomfortable I was with this in the first place, yet she still tried to push the boundary that we had established. I would appreciate any feedback from anyone who has experienced a similar violation of trust from a loved one. I'm turning to this sub for advice, because for obvious reasons, I cannot tell anyone that knows my wife and I. I know that some of you may find this humorous, but please serious comments only. This is something that could lead to the end of our marriage. Edit. I didn't expect this to go to the front page, but my wife has seen the post. I have been unable to face her, and there is no way to get out of going to the zoo with the other family today. I appreciate all the serious feedback, and I will update tonight. Just a side note, I'm pretty sure your wife will know this was you, even though you used a throwaway. Your sex life went from vanilla to chocolate real quick. I like vanilla to Neapolitan better.